I'd like to welcome you to the June JC meeting. And first off, we'd like to welcome the new board liaisons, Kim Carlson, and returning with us is Bob Brooks. The other one is Dave Armstrong, who's moved from the board committee to the board, and he's not here with us today, and we thank all of them for everything they do to help us. Approval of the May 13 minutes. Do I have, Jerry, a second? Were there any corrections, additions? If not, all those. Brad's on, so we've got 6 members today, so we have to keep that in mind as we go. Okay, golf facilities, and today with your facility, you were going to identify the tee boxes that you feel that are uneven, that need some attention. So Jerry, you want to start us out?
Yes, Highlands, basic report, we're getting some patches in on the zoysia out there. Greg's working to get some of those what few bare spots we still have left in the long fairways and that kind of thing, that getting those patched up. I know doing a good job of getting all of that together. The course is in great shape, as most of them are. I think everything, except with the exception of just a couple of fairways all over the village, is doing very well because of the heat finally, and we've got plenty of rain. As far as the tee boxes at Highlands, I don't find anything that's really out of kilter there. Greg and I spent quite a bit of time talking and looking at things around, and about the only thing that we can say about the tee boxes, the red tee boxes could be a little bit larger. We did make 17 a little bit larger than it used to be, and it seems to be functioning just fine. And but the rest of them could be a little larger, but otherwise I don't see anything really that's that uneven out there. Everything's going well in the clubhouse, and the range looks good out there. It's busy, really busy. So I appreciate the work that everybody does out there.
Okay, any questions for Jerry? Okay, Kimla.
Dogwood is my reporting course, and I must say it is just in perfect condition. The fairways, the greens, the staff, the pro shop, the carts. There's a few carts that are some damage, but it all looks pretty good. But it's very nice. Tee boxes. Mine are mostly gold oriented. They really are. I mean, I could go through them, but I can give you the list. Would that be better? Yeah. Okay, I have notes with the list.
Yeah, that'll be better.
Okay, that's all I've got.
Okay, thank you. John?
I've got the country club, and again, the pro shop and staff are wonderful. I never find any bare spots for the inventory. Everything's always stocked up and ready to go. Staff is friendly. Course, I mean, it's in good shape. Again, we're starting to get some heat, so grass is starting to fill in some of the spots, but no carts. I mean, obviously the wear and tear, but they're still usable, functionable. So the tee boxes that I played, I haven't found any that are in need of leveling or anything like that. I will go back out and check some of the other ones, and then I can report back with a list if there's anything that I find. So I'll make sure that I get that to you guys.
Okay, thanks, John. Clay?
Thanks. Scottsdale is the course. Clubhouse, like everyone else, they do a great job. There's new merchandise out. They're very good at handling the shotgun starts, so no complaints there. Golf carts, same as everyone else. They're starting to rattle and shake and all that good stuff, but they're getting around the course. That's all. Driving range, it's really nice there. It looks beautiful from the side. When you get on it, it's beautiful. It's a very, very nice addition to the course, or improvement to the course, I should say. Quick note there, the month before there was no sand in the pitching area, but this month it's been sand there all the time. So, and people are using it, so that's good also. Overall, course experience, it's awesome. Everyone else is saying the grass is growing. Kyle's keeping the rough cut at 3 different levels. So if you just miss the fairway, you're fine. If you go a little too far, you may not find your ball. If you go too far, then it's gone. I guess that's the way it's supposed to be. So that's great. There was also a comment last month about hole 15, which is a 14. It's par 3 going down the hill. That's been mowed at the bottom, so it's either the ball slides to the bottom or you can play it and find it. So that's real good. The only thing that didn't get repaired was the bridge. So there's some welding that needs to be done on that bridge. It's still open. I'm not sure anybody but me would see it, but if someone did hit the railing, there's nothing to hold them in there. As far as the tee boxes go, of course, the women would like something easier on 12. That's just a tough hole. Going across the gap, I don't know what you do about that. That's not a flatness issue per se. I did get a couple pictures of the tee markers on that course. They're like 2 feet from the back of the box where it starts to slow down. So by the rules, you can put it within 2 club lengths. That doesn't say the box has to be that big, but you have to tee it up within inside of that range. But right now, there were a couple of the red tee boxes that it was all the way to the very back. So I think that's just a simple placement of the markers and has nothing to do with leveling or the condition there. So overall, the course is in great shape. People are friendly. The staff there are just awesome. So that's it for me.
Thank you. Brad?
Hey guys, so I have Kingswood Birchdale and Pro Shop experience. Always the staff is extremely friendly. The product offering is great. Great presentation. That's all in really good shape. Golf carts, they're showing a little bit of wear and tear. I talked about it last month, but you know they're still operational, but they are showing some wear and tear there. So the overall golf experience, I had an opportunity to play out there last Friday, and the greens are in great condition. Most of the fairways are filling in really nicely. It's good to see the trees got removed on number 3, so that's all back to normal, and fans going in. But there's still a few bare spots, number 16 especially, I noticed. But all in all, really good shape. As far as the leveling goes,
I gave
Ruth,
them a copy of your list.
I gave you a copy of that already, so you should have all that.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Anything else regarding facilities? And you'll give them a copy of your list as soon as you can. We appreciate that. Question, when are we up for carts again
I go out for bid in October
of this year?
of this year, but it does, because the big fleet is only going to come in towards the end of next year.
Okay, so we're still another year and a half away, so, okay. So there isn't any that they're being fixed as they can.
No, so we are fixing them. Terry Pullen's doing a great job going around. The little things that are kind of wear and tear is the windshield pamphlets that hold them. We have over 200 of those coming in, and we'll be changing those out. Clear Creek came out and changed a lot of the cracked seats that were under warranty. We're changing out some pins and some tires. It's just normal wear and tear at the end of the fleet that Terry's on top of it. Report it when you come in, we notate it, and we get them rolling is where it's at. So it's a good deal. As far as the frame go, for 4 years, they're strong. I mean, it's a great car.
They get a lot of usage,
They get
Yeah.
crazy usage.
okay? Anything else regarding facilities? If not, we'll move on to staff reports. Graham?
Sure. So we have about 2 more truckloads of sod to get down. Most of that is on Highlands and a little bit at Kingswood. We laid 5 trucks in the month of May on bare areas throughout the golf courses. Bunker edges on Dogwood, so we did a little investigation. We talked about this a little bit last month too, but that bunker rake machine is just an older machine and it wasn't raising up fast enough, kind of pulling sand out of the bunker as he was exiting the bunker. And that's kind of how those edges got a little deformed. Anyways, they've repaired that. He has sodded the bunker edges kind of back to the original size and shape. And so expect that to be all wrapped up and not have that issue moving forward. The MAC team began work on the left side of number 1 in the rough, in the low area there. And we got a big rain after they had done some work. Part of that washed back out. So we've got a pretty good plan in place, I think. Kirk's team said they're going to lay down some filter fabric and then riprap on top of that and don't expect any erosion moving forward. And they think they'll be able to get that done in the next couple weeks. So that project will be taken care of. We got greens aerification coming up on Scottsdale and Brittany. Next Monday, Tuesday on Scottsdale, and then just Monday on Brittany. We'll be doing, I think, smaller tine, 3/8 inch. Is that what you're going with, Kyle? A little bit smaller holes. We've got those machines that'll smooth out the surface following aerification, so we expect it'll go really well. A little bit later, towards the beginning of July, we do have tee and collar aerification coming up on all our golf courses, Highlands Country Club, Kingswood, and Burkesdale. It's all 1 week. There'll be a 1-day closure for each golf course. So that's similar to what we did last year. That'll be happening twice this summer. I think it really helped us, I think, last year, kind of make it through winter with no damage on our collars and tees. So I think it was a really good process we want to continue. We've got a 3rd pre-emergent application coming up on Kingswood Burkesdale Country Club at the end of the month for weed control to extend that through the rest of summer. Kyle did some sod to sprig work with our sprigging machines on his golf course, an area in the rough on 18, and then number 11, which was really thin. It was right around this time last meeting, early May. He had just planted that, and now if you go out there, Kyle and I were just out there a couple of days ago, and you really can't even tell we did it. Now we don't know if that's a lot of common that's come back, or if that's Astro that we planted and has started to take over. We'll be able to, I think, determine that as we get into fall, and certainly by next spring we'll know kind of what's going on there. So that's kind of a wait and see thing, but we wanted to try it, and it was a way that we were able to recover pretty quickly without having to lay a ton of sod. So that was a good practice to try. Jury's out. We'll let you know how that, what kind of headway we made there. We're planning on doing some sod to sprig zoysia work as well. 16 Kingswood was brought up. That's that small area on that crowned area of the fairway. We're going to try to establish some zoysia there with the sod to sprig method next week. The plan there is to not spray the Bermuda out. So David Brandenburg brought up, hey, will this grass outcompete Bermuda over time without the need of removing Bermuda? We don't know. So that's an area we want to test and see what happens. So we're also going to do a small area on Scottsdale as well to give us two locations to kind of monitor that. We won't really have an answer there for a couple of years, or at least two full growing seasons. End of next summer, I'll be able to give a little bit more information on the effectiveness of that. Bunker placement, we talked about that a little bit last month. Went back and did a little research. USGA is recommending, at least the most recent articles I could find, bunker rakes outside the bunkers. I attached the article that I was reading to this report, and I won't go through that whole thing. You guys can read it if you'd like, but I guess if you guys have any suggestions on what you'd like, if you want them outside, if they're inside and a ball comes to rest against it, you move the rake and the ball moves, you have to put the ball back where it was, right? So we'll do whatever you guys want. I mean, I've worked at a bunch of different golf courses, done it a bunch of different ways. So if you guys would want to give me a little direction, we'll make it happen. If not, then we'll keep doing what we're doing.
The question I have is for maintenance. If it's in the bunker, they still have to take time to remove it when they rake the bunkers. And if it's outside, the maintenance, whoever's on the course, has to remove it when they mow.
Right.
So is there a real benefit one way or the other?
Not really.
So it's kind of a toss-up.
it's pretty much, it's whatever you guys prefer, we'll do.
Does it need to be consistent?
I don't know. I don't know if I need to answer that, or I think for you guys from the membership base, probably, but.
I'm gonna jump in there
Darryl?
because
Absolutely.
you can start some days where they're all outside, and by the middle of the day, some are inside because the membership put it wherever they want and kind of move it around. So it's whatever you want. If you start the day, it's never gonna be consistent just because of the amount of play that we have and everybody does something different. So
I did make a note in there that obviously we don't have the staff to just continually make laps and make sure they're out there in a certain location. So where they start, you know, we can do that, but we can't necessarily, you know, by midday, we don't know where they're gonna be and can't really monitor that, so.
Perhaps you want to play the game as, put them in for the next month, and then the next month take them out and see which complains the most. So-
Hey, that's not a bad idea.
You never know, we play little flip cards here.
Yeah.
So, any other comments on that? Okay, go ahead.
Did want to give a capital update.
yeah, no,
No, so no
Okay,
guidance.
guys,
Yeah,
whatever he
right.
chooses to do is
We will
fine.
keep doing what we're doing, I guess. Bob, do you have anything to add? You?
I think you're right, whatever the membership wants.
Yeah. Capital update, 13th Country Club has been sodded. The rain last month really slowed us down there. We was hoping to have that early May, and it just, whether it was rain at the sod farm, couldn't get sod when we wanted it, or it was too wet for us to lay it. Really was fighting with that. All the grass is down now, so a few more weeks of establishment. Got to mow the tees out, and then Reed will be able to open that up. All the fans, all the electrical wire is installed on our Kingswood fan project. We are still waiting on Carroll Electric to install meters, which they were actually working out on number 2 today. So we anticipate that'll be running very soon. Over there on 14, that actually feeds the green on number 7. We're still waiting on that, on meter installation there. So we anticipate that'll be done hopefully in the next week or 2 though. Shane's running the fans that he can do right now, so it's good. That's all I got. Any questions?
Questions for Graham? No?
This isn't a question, this is a comment on the treatment of the sand. It seemed like since the last meeting, there's been a lot of attention to the sand traps, and they're looking a lot better.
Good.
I did put a survey out to the different golf groups and said, okay, you guys are talking about hitting the bottom, and I didn't get the answer that I wanted. No one gave me a negative response. They just said, hey, they're picking up the maintenance of the trap. So, sorry, I don't have an answer on which one had the pipes, but things are looking better.
Okay,
Thank you.
good. Absolutely.
Any other? Okay, thank you, Graham. Darryl?
All right, May was another outstanding month across all our revenue, from golf rounds to driving range usage to pro shop sales, all exceeding expectations and budgets, which is great. One thing I want to point out, that our golf rounds are still outperforming 2024 rounds, and that was a record-setting year for Bella Vista, so that's crazy. And it just shows there's a strong demand on our golf courses for play, and the staff are doing an outstanding job giving that experience, and Graham's giving us a great product in the super, so that's phenomenal. I'll give you some of the numbers now. May ended at 25,465, 2,280 over last year. The biggest one, let's go year to date, we had 80,004 rounds. That's 15,490 over last year, and just shy of 10,000 over 2024. So we had a little bit of rainy season starting June, so it's kind of hit it a little bit, but it's hopefully it continues, and we keep our rounds going where they're going to set another record year in golf revenue and rounds. Driving range buckets, 36,271. We have the busiest driving ranges in Northwest Arkansas. And I'll stand and say that in front of the president. It's crazy, it's busy, so that's all I got.
Questions for Darryl? Thank you, Darryl. Alex?
All right, since our last meeting, we've wrapped up a couple of events. We had the Folds of Honor event completed at Highlands early in May, or really just after our last meeting. And we just got finished with our first junior golf camp. 3 great days, had a great time with the kids out there. Got rained out on the last day, but we've got makeup date to get them all back out there. We're in kind of the heat of our tournament season, so we got several things coming up. We've got the Alzheimer's event at Kingswood, which is on Saturday the 20th. That one is nearing full, so if anybody's interested in getting in that one, they have probably just a few more days to get signed up. We got the Friends of Highlands 4th of July tournament out at Highlands on the 4th. Not sure how we're doing with participation, but it's always 22 so far. All right, so far so good. We've got our second junior camp coming up on July 8th through 11th, and that as well is almost full. So you got just probably a couple more days to get into junior camps if anybody's got some kids that are interested in learning some golf. Just released last weekend was sign up for our couples mixer. That's at Dogwood on Saturday, July the 18th. And then the All in the Family tournament is at Kingswood on Saturday, July the 25th, and that will open up this Friday. And other programs we've got going on, Hannah's got a lot of things going on with Futures Academy. She just started a new Ladies Op 36 homeschool program, Intro to Golf, and Toddlers and Tees, all with pretty good participation even for the summer. Summer's usually a little bit lighter than spring and fall for those type of things. And she has created the Futures Academy Invitational, which is a tournament that'll be held here at Bella Vista Country Club on Saturday, July the 25th. It's kind of in program with the PGA Junior League. So we've got all the PGA Junior League teams coming from around the area, Fayetteville Country Club, Shadow Valley, First Tee, probably a couple I'm forgetting, Pinnacle. Probably about 100 kids total, so we're really looking forward to that, and that will be Saturday, July the 15th, hoping for a good inaugural event for that. So, and that's really all I have. Does anybody have any questions for me?
July 15th,
That's July 25th.
25th,
Mhm,
okay.
Saturday the 25th.
Okay. Anything else for Alex? Thank you, Alex. Tom?
How did, Daryl, how did your daughter do in her recent golf tournament?
Well, you don't ask how I did. I walked around in the rain for 2 days and watched her win a tournament.
Good
So she did good, and now she goes to play in Miami at Doral. Everything paid for, so we didn't know that was part of the deal. So Tegan's finishing her high school career she's 2-0, two events, won both of them, and she's playing that Arkansas State Am at the Blessings tomorrow, Friday and Saturday. So we wish her luck.
And her mother's
you.
gonna caddy for in Miami.
Yes.
It's nice to see she takes after her
Mother.
mother.
I'm glad you didn't say her grandpa.
I got nothing else.
Okay. Anything for Tom? Okay. Board. Kim? Anything?
I prefer to have the bunker thing inside instead
See,
of outside.
there's a decision right there.
Stop.
First one made a decision.
That's all I have.
Bob?
I continue to get a lot of people asking me why we have a dry concrete bed in the middle of 13 at Dogwood. And that, when I first started coming down where it wasn't here. And now it is. And I will admit, I don't know why it's there. I've been playing there when it's really rainy. There's hardly any water in it. Is there a spring that runs through that, or what's the deal?
I don't know. I've asked Scott. In fact, we had a tentative capital project to rip out those concrete walls and regrade that down to at least where carts could just drive through there. But you're right. I think Scott would tell you we don't get a lot of rain water moving through there. I'm not sure why it's there.
Daryl, you probably know.
It was before.
It goes way back before even my time. That was Mr. Mike Shea put that in there, and that was done, and I have no idea. I know I could probably reach out to Mr. Mike and find out why it was done, but it was before my time, literally.
I mean, walls, like a seawall, keeps water out, but it also keeps water in and backing up towards the tee box if there's nowhere for it to go with the.
Yeah, we would like to remove that because that would also eliminate that choke point and probably allow us to get back on the path or get off the pass on that hole again. That was the thought. I think there's something we definitely want to do there. I'm not 100% sure what that's going to be yet, but it's definitely something we're thinking about.
A lot of compliments on all the golf courses. And, you know, tee boxes, when it comes to tee box, I've played Augusta National, and on the 14th tee, it's not a flat tee. You better put your shoulder up about 4 or 5, 6 degrees if you want to get it up to the top of that hill, because they don't even have an answer for a flat tee. So if they don't have an answer, yeah.
Okay, anything else? Do we have any emails or anything? Okay, about our guest. Anybody like to visit with us today? Not at this time. We thank you for coming. Okay, moving into old business. I had sent out a list to each of you for the items that we talked about, the possible budget review items. And I've got a couple extra copies if somebody doesn't have one. And I'd like to have now, is there something that we need to add before we start talking about them? I've got the Soja expansion, cart paths, leveling of tee boxes, bunkers, pace of play, cart violations, which would be play managers, tree replacement where trees were taken out and signage needed on the course, and then the restaurant coordination during shotgun events. Is there anything else we'd like to put on the list that anybody think of? Okay.
So I'm gonna jump in real quick. I'd like you to remove one,
Yes.
if that's okay, because it's already been handled. So our F&B director has reached out to me, and we've logged him into our mass, and he saw it and it's like, it's huge with everything happening on every golf course. So restaurant coordination during shotgun events, it has already been taken care of.
That was quick work. What else should be taken care of?
Oh no, that's it. I'm out.
Thank you. We appreciate that. And I think the golfers will come in and appreciate that as well. So we thank you. Anything else you'd like to add before we start talking about them? As we all know, you can't put a list like this and say you want it all, because there isn't money for it all. So we will need to at some point scratch or rank order as to what our pleasures are. So if we'd like to talk about anything in particular that you think is really needs to be top notch or needs to be in the first 2 or 3, now's the time to express it. So. Anybody have any feeling as to what they're looking at? Clay, go ahead.
Okay, so I take informal surveys with people like, okay, if you had a choice between Zoysia and cart paths, what would it be? And half the people say Zoysia because the success at Highlands is really nice, but the cart paths are just nasty. And they get half the, I don't know how much it costs, but there's so many spots where the carts, you have to go at a snail's pace. So if it was up to me, Zoysia would be number 2, cart paths would be number 1, and the tree replacement would be number 3. That's
Can I speak to the cart paths really quickly?
Sure.
So we're budgeted to buy the grinder, which in theory is going to smooth out the bumpiness of the cart paths. That's going to be, it's already been ordered as of last meeting, should arrive sometime in July. Hopefully we can start in August, should be done before the end of fall for sure on all the golf courses. And then at the very least, the ride on the cart path should be smooth, if that helps anything at all.
Will there be areas that will not be smoothed out by that or not? I mean, is it possible to add, say you budget for so many thousand to say towards cart paths, but do you think that that will take, is one machine coming, correct?
It's one machine's coming. We are also doing cart path repair, new overlay on Scottsdale and Country Club in September. So those 2 golf courses will have overlay over old bumpy areas. The rest of the golf courses will be milled with the machine, and at the very least, it will feel pretty smooth driving on. I mean, I'm not saying it's gonna be 100% perfect, but it's gonna be a huge improvement over what we have currently.
Well, we still have the outstanding question, which we really didn't get answered this winter, was by milling it down, does it make the cart path more susceptible to damage when we have hot, cold during the winter time, and whether it heaves up or something of that nature. We were hoping to learn something this winter, but we really didn't have much of a winter. So that's not going to answer the short term, but long term, it may not go away, is what I'm trying to say. Is it may work for a while, and then we realize we solved one problem and then created another problem.
So I guess what I'm hearing, that the cart paths are being addressed, and we won't know until after budget is done whether any additional money is needed or not. That fair? So, but it is being addressed, and that's number one, is that's what we asked for. Yeah, right, but that's what we asked for, is to take a look at the cart paths and do something about them. So, okay, keeping that in mind, other ideas?
And if you talk about Zoysia expansion, it's you're probably looking at one golf course. So there's a recommendation on that also.
Is that a possibility in this year's budget?
I think we need to talk about it.
Okay,
and,
all right.
It might not be this year's budget, but maybe it's next
Okay.
year's, because we keep on talking about it and so
Correct.
forth.
But
It's a very costly one, because not only do you have the cost of the Zoysia, but you have the cost of closing the golf course. And we know this, we learned this the hard way, is that we need to give our maintenance team a lot more time than we originally thought we needed to. I think last time we gave them 4 months, we ended up needing to give them 6 months. We need to make sure we give them 6 months this next. Is that correct?
But it's gaining momentum by the success at Highlands. People are looking at it and saying, this is what we want to go for the future, so I definitely think we need to keep track of that one. Other ideas? Anything you'd take off that list?
The signage thing, what are we talking about there?
On the cart paths mainly, I think. Go ahead, Kimla.
Well, I know I had mentioned it because a lot of people were asking me about it, especially at Dogwood. There's people, we have visitors, they have no idea where to go after they leave too. It's like, whew, and I've done a wonderful job at Scottsdale. The numbers on the pavement, huge help. It completely helps, especially out of towners. People aren't used to us, so.
Would a directional sign suffice?
It might, yeah, a directional sign could suffice. And you've done a good job of getting them repainted for like where the gold tees are and the cart path only. That cart path only is a big deal because people don't pay attention to it anyway. I mean, it needs to be really noticeable.
That even pull in the Capitol?
That's probably a really good example of when I referenced this last month of we'll try and do like number 1, number 2, and then we bounce down to number 7 because number 7 is much more affordable.
Yeah.
This is number 7.
Yeah.
This is much more affordable, very doable. Cart path. Signage. A couple $1,000s as opposed to Zoysia, which is about $500,000, something like that. So, I think that's reasonable. I would encourage you to maybe send an email to our team and add a little bit more clarity to even what you've told us on signage to make sure that we understand exactly what you're saying. We'd hate to do the project, come back and say we're all done, and then you go, really?
Okay.
So Kimmel, I know you referenced it a little bit there, but I did get feedback regarding the markings of the gold tee boxes as well. So,
Okay.
yeah. So that's one of the things I think that we meant by the signage.
Okay.
Or at least it was for me, so.
Jerry, did you have more? Okay. Clay, you had something you wanted to add?
It's gonna go back to the Zoysia. So I don't know how refined we need our proposal, but doing 9 holes on, say, something like Country Club would allow the course to at least be left open. And I know you can't do shotgun starts for 18-hole play, but it doesn't shut things down entirely, so we keep some of the golf rounds up. And so do we have to refine our Zoysia proposal to that level, or do we just leave it open?
I think you leave that to Graham and Daryl's discretion. I mean, they're the experts in the area. My opinion, and Daryl and I have not always agreed on this one, 9-hole does you nothing. People typically do not want to play the same 9 twice. And so you might as well rip off the Band-Aid and do all 18, because you're going to disrupt for 6 months, and then you're going to have another 6 months of disruption the very next season. You might as well just get it over with. Your rounds don't cut in half when you go to 9. They go way less than half. So it's not, you're disrupting 2 entire seasons as opposed to just rip the Band-Aid off. That's my opinion.
Unless maybe you did Kingswood, in which case you could use Burksdale as your other 9 and make it an 18.
But that's an out and back golf course that wouldn't work. Kingswood's out and back. There's no convenient, it's not that like the classic Cloverleaf where everything returns back to the clubhouse.
It's a links course.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing we've got to jump in and look at is Highlands is going to need to be re-rated with the new fairways. When they're fully established, USGA is coming in to re-rate that because it has changed that course up. So if you have 1 9 with one and 1 with the other, roll out and all that type of stuff. So we'll keep in contact.
Even with some of the trees that have been taken out, we probably need to have some of the courses re-rated, right?
That's why they do it within 10 years. They come out and do it. We are on track, but Highlands will be done a little earlier because of the major changes we had out there. Just coming back to what Tom said, you take Burksdale, had a record year last year, 24, at 16,000 rounds, where all the other courses were around 40,000. So it's significant difference between an 18-hole and a 9-hole.
Okay, bunkers we talked about a little bit, that they're improving. Is that something that we need to address further, or? At this time? Are we taking from the audience at this time? Go ahead. Yeah.
Last month, Mike Brzezinski, last month we talked about Dogwood 17 being a budgetary concern, because of everything and the washout on the waste bunker and all that other stuff. Brought up a great point as to why do we have that concrete path there? There's a great repurpose opportunity for that brick wall to put it along that outside, create a good washout bunker, raise the level of the left side of the fairway and make it more playable. It's still 275 from the tips with your 5-iron, Daryl. So, not all of us have that. So I'm just keeping it real that 17 is still, there's no bailout now. And with the cart path along the side there, if you happen to catch it, even though it's only 6-7 feet wide, it kicks you out. So, just if that could be on the budget thing to look at, that would be great.
Okay, keeping that on the list, play managers. I know they're expensive. But that's something we need to look at if we need to keep it on. What we're gonna do is when we're done, I'm going to ask each of you to email me, rank order these as we have them. And we'll rank order as a group and discuss the rank order next month. We turn it in before the end of July.
Yes, please.
What? Yes, okay, all righty. Tree replacements.
We just agreed to leave it on the list?
Yes, we're gonna leave it on the list. See how it pans out in the list. Tree replacements. What are we talking for decent sized trees to make a difference?
I'd have to price that out, because, the cost of planting too.
Yeah.
Satisfying the tree.
Okay.
I'll get you a number down on that.
Are there?
What's a decent sized tree? How tall would you like to start? 20 foot, 30 foot, what do we want to?
Well,
I can buy some 8-footers and it'll take 30 years to, I'd love to do that. I know you guys don't want
Very few
that.
people here that are gonna see those 30-footers. Might be a few of you, but some of us won't. I guess my real question is, are we looking at a dozen trees that really made a difference that were taken out of courses? Or are we looking at more than that or fewer than that? Or, you know, we've talked about things at Dogwood, we've talked about things different places. Yeah, Highlands. Even here, there were a couple. We're talking maybe a dozen at most that really make a difference. And I think that would be a good starting point. I don't think we can come in and say, we need 36 new trees that are 40 foot tall, because folks, you're not gonna get them. It's a little pricey, I can tell you that before we start.
20 foot, does that sound fair?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. An 8 foot probably doesn't do it if we're really trying to replace something that makes a difference. But that'd be a good place to start, and I appreciate that. Okay, anything else that you can think of that needs to be brought up? These are things that we've talked about for the last year. We've taken the restaurants off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 7 left. Anything you want to throw out? Brad, anything you've got? Okay. Okay, then the task to you is, within the next 2 days, get to me your list in rank order, first 1 through 7, as to how you'd rank those 7 items. And then we'll compile it and I'll get back to you, and that's the order we'll talk about next month. And hopefully at the end of the meeting next month, we'll have a proposal to turn into the board for possible budget recommendations. Remember, it's recommendations. They have the money, we do not have the money, and money talks. You know, if they don't have the money for it, we can wish all we want. But if it's not there, it's not gonna happen. And even though we're having a real good year, that helps us, but it doesn't solve the problems. So we need to be a little understanding that wishes don't always grant exactly what we want. At least in my life, it doesn't. So I'm being realistic for a change. I'd like to say, yeah, just tell them what you need and that's what we'll get. But okay, everybody understands that. Okay, I appreciate that. Anything else from the surveys that needs discussion? That when we put it out to the general public, can anything else come up? No? So we've covered everything that we wanted to cover from both those areas. Okie dokie, we're moving right along. New business. A year ago, the board put out a recommendation for all JAC committees to elect their new members, so it was uniform. And that was the purpose, because everybody was doing it a little bit differently. So they came out with a new proposal, and we pretty much followed it the last year and then this year. I have sent that proposal to each of the prospective members, and they all understand what it is, and someone will be interviewing tonight right after this meeting is over. And so we've also asked them ahead of time on the paper they turned in, what are you calling the application, that they turned in is what makes you a good fit for the committee and how was your experience might assist in the committee. Those they've already got. I'm sure that when we interview, there'll be 2 or 3 other questions that the board or the committee wants to ask at the same time. And we will remember that any question you ask of one prospective member, that we ask of all prospective members. So I think that makes a difference. And other than that, I think we're in pretty good shape. And at this time, I don't have anything else. I do have all the rest or the applications here. Anything else under new business? If not, announcements. Next JAC meeting is July 8th here in the boardroom, and we stand adjourned.